Good morning. Welcome to Flat Earth Early Bird number 1749. I'm your host Arwin. And before we start the show, please don't forget to share it on any platform you deem fit. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you know when I'm going live, which is normally 1 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekdays and 2 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekend. And please also do support me through the PayPal and the Patreon. That would be much appreciated, and I can really use the support still, so please keep it coming. I'm gonna ask for some this weekend. Right. Anyway, weather today is different. It's weird, clear blue sky. But it's also big clouds, and an hour ago it was actually hailing here. It's a bit of a hailstorm. So it's very different weather. But hey, then the sun comes out and it's really nice. Behind the window though, because the wind makes it very cold outside. Despite the sun. It does make for very beautiful skies. See? Right. Hello, Bill Nye the Science Denier, first in chat. Richard G, good to see you. It is Saturday, the 14th of October 2023. The temperature is 13 degrees Celsius. Yeah. How odd it just feels weird. Yesterday I got on the show in my t-shirt while it was super cloudy and raining sometimes. Well, the rest of the evening it rained a lot, by the way. And then today it's sunny, but it's too cold to be in a t-shirt. It's just weird. It is the way it is. Right, so yeah, how are you guys doing? Doing pretty good. I had an Illuminati croissant actually before the show started, because I just was really hungry this morning. I couldn't really wait. I went out for some groceries, so I'm like pretty much set for the weekend. Hello Rick Beck, good to see you. Right, so yeah, yesterday's show was great. Very successful. I'm gonna continue what I've done. So everything from yesterday stands today and tomorrow. And for the unforeseeable future. Or what is it? For the foreseeable future. Unforeseeable future. That's a weird thing to say. Right. And yeah, FED went great too. So I seem to really be back in form. All I have to do is just completely let it all go. And what's kind of funny is that Owen Benjamin later last night streamed, the Friday stream, and he was super cranky. So apparently he's pretty much had the same level of nagging, like some real sabotage shit. And he had a lot of trouble like not exploding. But yeah, I mean, nobody's gonna ban him there. Although, oh, D-Live let all that just stream just like that. No problem there. Oh yeah, right, so get it? I get banned from D-Live, but Owen Benjamin does not. Brilliant. Whatever, I'm not complaining. I guess I'm just more of a risk to the system than Owen Benjamin, which is kind of a hilarious thing to say. Even though I'm still here on YouTube. I mean, it's all just arbitrary. It is all really just arbitrary. Like there's no, everybody's treated completely differently. Like everybody. Equal treatment? Yeah, that's hilarious. Everybody is treated completely differently. The whole thing is as asymmetrical as you can get. Hey, Akumu Virus, good to see you. You want to stay asleep? And go to sleep. Yeah. Building this damn house? What, your own house? What's going on? Oh, money had been taken out? Oh, today the money was taken out? Okay, well let me check. I didn't spot anything. I have kept checking. Nope. Well, wherever that went, it didn't go over here. That's really weird, Richard G. I mean, you should definitely like try to contact them about like, hey, what the hell's going on here? If you need like information from my side, I could email you a screenshot or whatever. But this is really weird. A pool house for a woman. Oh, okay. Hello, Clutch. Good to see you. Hope everybody is having a beautiful weather as I have. I mean, it's really impressive. Just look at this. Looks amazing. it is. Oh, well, the sun just went away. But of course not up there. Still darker? Yeah, that's true. Alright, I'll stop asking you where, like, how beautiful the day is, because it's still dark over there. I get it. Right, I hope you're gonna have a beautiful day too, though. What was I doing yesterday? Yeah, it's just that the problem is that, like, everything out there news-wise, it's all about the whole thing in the Middle East, and it's like the only thing everybody now talks about, except at FED and the Early Bird Show, of course. Because if I talk about it, then get the nagging trolls again, that'll get me another strike. So nothing is happening. But yeah, now I have less to talk about. So I have to figure out something to talk about, like I did yesterday. Right? How the celestial sphere is, like, the information of it is utilized as if it were a flat plane. Nobody really replied to that, but we have debated it, like, on FED. Like, that might come back a couple of times. Right, but yeah, yesterday's FED was hilarious in the after show. Like, I was really in the flow with a lot of things. It just went great. When the strike end? It's 1 week. Well, before the stream ban lifts, and then it lasts for like 3 months or something. You never used it like a flip, but yeah, nobody cares. Akuma virus, you don't use anything. And everybody, the only way you can even use the celestial sphere is as a flat plane. Yeah, that the GP system, that's a flat plane. That's parallel to the flat plane of the Earth. Yeah, you use a lot of stuff, I bet you do. That's not true. Yeah, it is true. It's provably true. The GP system is a flat plane that parallels to the flat plane of Earth. It's provably true. Distance to the GP. What the fuck are you talking about? That's retarded, Akuma virus. Shut the fuck up. No ball-tarded idiocy in here. You want to try that shit? Go over to FED. Oh, you got banned there for it. Don't get banned here too for your absolute horse shit. It work out? Yeah, in your head it does. Yeah, you can bend everything in your head like a ball tart. I know. Doesn't work though. It doesn't actually work. Map is flat, GP map is flat. I'm not taking your word for it, thank you very much. That's right. You'll be surprised. Well, you'll be banned if you don't shut the fuck up and stop spamming my chat with your bald-tarded idiocy. I didn't ask you to start nagging against me, okay? I was just merely mentioning something. It wasn't open for discussion with a bald-tard, okay? Fuck off. I'm not gonna debate ideas that I have and insights that I attain with bald-tards that are gonna wrap it all around a ball again, yeah? Fuck off. You wanna do that shit? Just go to Flatzoids. Go over there. Why don't you go on with him on the show and present your idiocy? You didn't ask to debate it. Yeah, but you can't stop yapping about it though. You immediately jumped in with horse shit. It wasn't for debate. Yeah, I know. It's horse shit. The GP map is a flat plane that parallels the flat plane of Earth. That's how it's used. That's the only way it is used. Take the map, flat plane, and the GP map, flat plane. That's how you know where you are. And that's a fact. Now you can think of it however the fuck you want. It's not gonna matter anything. It's a flat plane paralleling another flat plane. What the hell? Distance to the GP? Who's talking about the fucking distance to the GP? What the fuck are you talking about? There is no distance to the GP. The GP is the point. There is no distance involved. There's a point over the flat plane. Right? Where it's right above you. That's what you take, and you keep marking that. All these celestial lights, where is it? Right above you. Then you compare it to the GP map to know where you are. Depending on the season, right? Because the celestial sphere shifts seasonally. Yeah, that's celestial navigation. You compare the GP to your location. It's all flat, taken from a flat plane, measured on a flat plane. It's all flat. Right. Yeah, Akumufires, I know, it all goes in degrees, yeah? I know. But the actual positions, the GP positions, are when they are 90 degrees above you, straight above you. Yeah? That's the only points that are actually considered. Because the stars aren't anywhere. They don't have actual positions. They only have these angular consistencies. And when they're straight, dead reckoning above you, that is the only point that is actually used for anything. Then, yeah, if you then look, oh, they're not directly above you, they're at an angle away from directly above you, well, then you can use those angles, the percentage, or the amount of degrees on the GP map, which is flat, to see how far away you are off the GP point of the celestial body that you're trying to position. Right? So you estimate where it is above you. Look for what are you talking about, man? Just what? Oh, you had to ruin a show and spam full my chat so that everybody shuts up now? Thanks a lot. Great, so yeah, I guess we'll not be talking about that without you nagging at me about your ball-tardedness. Guess I'll leave it for FED. What else? What else? Akumovirus, shut the fuck up, dude, before I fucking ban you. Just shut the fuck up. Dude, I am just gonna give you... Shut the fuck up, man. Stop talking to me. Right. Okay, I'm just gonna sit here and say absolutely nothing for the next hour. How about that? Just nobody says anything except fucking Akumu virus whining with his ball-tardedness. Nobody else says anything, so I'm just gonna sit here and say absolutely nothing. There's literally nothing I can think of except for anything that, like, somebody's gonna give me a strike for. Because that's the only fucking thing that's out there. Like, there's literally nothing that isn't about the current thing. Like, everything I saw yesterday, every fucking thing was about it. They're all just out there, just seething with wild, insane, satanic rage, just eager to kick people off their livelihoods. Like, just people that are just, we want to destroy people's lives! Yeah? And, like, the only fucking thing that's even talked about are those subjects that people want to destroy your life for. It's so fucked up. And the most fucked up thing is that that's allowed. That it's allowed. No, we're not gonna talk about the fucking current thing, Clutch. Not in hobo code. I'm not gonna talk about it. The things I have to say about it, I can't say that in hobo code. Yeah? I just want it all to go away. Forever. I want all regimes that employ provable Nazi tactics to be dismantled and persecuted for their crimes. I mean, what I'm seeing is just another Nazi Germany. That's what I'm seeing happening. With whatever is unnamed out there. It's what I'm seeing happening. Like, that's what's happening. And I can't wait till it's over. Hopefully forever. But I expect the same shit will happen. Like with the Nuremberg trials, which were a complete farce. I think the same thing will happen this time again, because it's like those people are all in it together. And I mean everybody. Like all the fucking governments, all the nobility, they're all in on it. They are. They're all in on it. Yeah. The crazy thing about like communism is that it's like the elitist thing that they do, But the weird thing about communism is that it's never actually truthfully employed. Because if you'd actually do the original idea behind communism, you would execute every single nobility and billionaire, no exception, and you'd go hunt them down around the world, no exception, like all of them. There can be no exception, yeah? But that's not what it is. That's not what they've done. It's satanic communism, where it's all two-faced, all projection, 100% projection. The communism is fake. It's all been a lie. It's all there to draw you in and then give you exactly the opposite of what you expected. And now you're stuck in it. And the dread of it is literally what just makes you continue and forget about how fucked up and evil it all is. Because it makes you want to kill yourself. That's what they've done. No, not socialism. Or maybe it is socialism. Whatever. The point is, the original idea of like communist revolutions was take down the richies, take down the nobility, get away with of it, right? Get it all out. Well, they don't do that. They just have their rich owners, their slave owners, yeah? Communism has slave owners. You have the rich scumbags, two-faced Satanist scumbags that have a lot of power, and they get more power and they want more money and they'll like kill for it. And then you have the slaves, which are the general public, that are forced and psychologically manipulated in all kinds of directions and convinced that they're on the good side, actually like creating equality. But they're not. They're just creating equality for the slave class, while the rich class steals everything and makes you take out their competition. That's what it is. That's what they've become. That's supposed communism. That's what communism is in China. It's gangsterism. It's just a bunch of mafia pretending to be social liberators. It's just that the style of their mind control. Right? And in this case, the only real way we can actually, in my opinion at this point, restore is if we actually did the actual original communist revolution worldwide. The original one. No more fucking around. This time, all of them. Everywhere. Yeah? Every connected piece of shit billionaire that are all playing the game, and that's why they become billionaires. All of them. Yeah? Liberate all those resources. Liberate the resources from the demons. Liberate the resources from the demons. Liberate the resources from the demons. Have an actual communist revolution. An actual one. Not the fake fucking horse shit that Russia went through, which is a grabbler revolution, and the one that China went through, which is a grabbler revolution. All those, that's basically just faux communism. It's more like Nazism with like a fake pretense of communism. It really is. All of that. Right? Because there is a super powerful group at the top that dole out absolute power. and that just have wealth and that can break rules. Yeah, that's not communism. That's not what it's supposed to be, right? I mean, nobody's ever known actual communism except for maybe a couple of communes like in South America and where they're like, or in India perhaps, where they're like really living in like isolated communes where it's really equal. Yeah, that's actual communism. What we have, these empires that supposedly are communist, they're not communism. They're much more like fascism, pretending to be communist. It's a total farce. Total farce. National Socialist Party. Yeah. Right. But look, like even the National Socialist Party, the idea of it was actually pretty cool, I think. But then they all just like conspired to be, then they did the whole class thing to it. Yeah? Said like, no, we're better than them, so they have no rights. We can loot and plunder. And that's when it all went to hell. Like completely went to hell. The original idea. What? The fuck are you talking about, Adamican? I don't know what that is. The problem is that every time, like, oligarchs, satanic nobility, they just take whatever idea heritage that comes about that was originally there to get rid of those fucking nobility and oligarchy. They take it and they use it as like as ornaments on their clothing. So they literally take the cloak on, make it into a complete farce, because they are the tyrants. They are absolute tyrants that need to be removed from the world. Like all of it. Like all of that needs to end. And every time a revolutionary idea comes about, they take it. Yeah, they squash the original resistance, the original ones that are trying to do it. Then they take those ideas, they corrupt them, and they just weave it into their clothes to make new armor. The new indoctrination to fool people into like they're doing the right thing that's gonna liberate them. When you all end up just like attacking, warring, parasiting on other groups that have been marked as lesser than human. And that's the thing they always do. All of it. All the oligarchy, nobility, they all end up doing it. All creating class systems that at a whim they can just declare people's rights away. And then the people that are indoctrinated on their side, scared to lose whatever they have, they'll just like attack the opponent just so they think that they might get a smile. They might get a little trinket from their slave master. Yeah? That's what it is. It's never changed. A real communist revolution never happened. It never happened. It was always corrupted. It got corrupted. The ideas got corrupted before it ever actually happened. And only a couple of hippies somewhere, right? Or people that are like communes. They're the only real forms of communism. What the hell is that? I don't get it. Yeah, why are you all bringing up the fucking news? I don't want any propaganda here. No news. Why aren't you guys trying to stick to the actual subject I'm talking to instead of pulling the fucking news back in? Haven't I been specifically trying to avoid that? I mean, seriously, maybe you should just need to go and watch CNN. If that's all that you can think of right now, then what are you doing here? I don't want to talk about it. I don't trust anything that's coming out of the news. Anything. I don't care what it is. Okay, but apparently a kibbutz is like a communist society. I guess, Adam, that's what you were saying? Tuber, shut the fuck up, dude. I don't want to talk about it. Just coincidence? Yeah, I'm sure it is. Right? But I mean, any real communism has to be destroyed. Right? You take the right wing, you make them destroy the actual independent communists, while the left-wing supposed communists, they don't do anything against that. Or they might complain some more. Right? Left wing, right wing. They destroy all good things in favor of unconditional power, yeah? The right wing slaughters the real, free, left-thinking communists, I guess. Whatever people that are like really done with government. They kill them. So that the left wing, the same arm, the same system, can then complain about it. Maybe like take their skin and wear them, say, oh, these are our people, when they're definitely not their people. Yeah. That's how they do it. And then left wing like attacks some right wing group that's actually really seriously right wing and not fucking corrupted, the gays and all that shit, right? And so that the right wing can, oh, so poor right, oh, here to take the skin, oh, yeah, put it on, yeah, that's what they do. It's like this two-headed giant, right wing, left wing, two-headed giant. The right wing kills everything that's good and right, and left wing kills everything that's good and left. And then the one side basically wears the skin as clothes that the other side kills. And say that, oh, we're that, oh, poor me. Oh, the other one did it, the bad one. Oh, but we're that victim, not the thing that was destroyed. No, we're that victim. That's what they keep doing. Hey, Vlad on Flat Earth. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm fine. What do you mean, glad I got my channel back? What are you talking about? Yeah, God forbid if you believe in something because it makes sense. Right, Akumu virus? Because you just believe in things because you want it. Yeah, or you could believe in something because it just actually makes sense. Like logically. Or you could believe in something because it's your opinion. Yes, Satan. That works. I'm gonna get this Gusto energy drink. I can get it open. Cheers. Yeah, keep the contradiction going, man, Akumu Virus. You're so easy to just blatantly contradict yourself. It's ridiculous. You do realize that when you do that in front of people that are actually intelligent, that their opinion of you like goes right in the shithole, right? You do realize that when you like say things like this. Like, they're gonna immediately assume you're a bike thief. Okay? Just saying. Yeah, hey, Getting Wisdom, good to see you. Remove identities or our hats before praying? What? I don't get it. Getting Wisdom, what are you talking about? Yeah, just don't try to figure it out, Clutch. It's just gonna get worse and worse. It's not gonna make more sense if you ask him to explain it. Oh, that was kind of nice, actually. I haven't had a Gusto energy drink in a while. You just locked your bike up? Very wise. You're right, skateboards, not bikes. Yeah, I know. Most bike thieves do, you see, because if you ride a bike, well, how are you gonna steal a bike? So, keep making it worse for yourself, right? Yeah, by the way, I saw something really weird yesterday. I may have seen like an actual Owen Benjamin description bike thief situation where some guy, or it was just a really tall looking kid or something, who's like very black. Very, like really super black. This is probably like a pure mid-African or something, like the ones that like have blue type of black skin, really black guy, on like a little kid's bike, like one of those typical long, what do you call those things? But like that was definitely a kid's bike, and that guy looked like he was like well in his teens, and I'm like, that looks like there might just be another Owen Benjamin that's getting born right there. What the hell? Is that a cat? What the? Oh, there you are. Come here. It's the white kitty. Hello. White kitty is great. Coco? what's it called? Hello. Yeah, it's just mostly drawing in attention because he wants food, of course. Got this business arrangement. Hey, Steamer Traveler, good to see you. So, right, yeah. Ironically, I'm thinking of like being pro-communist again. But when I say pro-communist, I mean absolutely not any frickin' politician out there that I know that is supposedly pro-communist, because all of those are all super anti-nationalist, right? They're anti-nationalist communists. Because they all promote gay and they promote all the horse shit and climate change, right? And I'm anti all of that. Yeah, yeah. Distraction, kitty. I was just thinking about it. Right? Original communism. An original where it's like, shut the fuck up. Like all the politician crap that's out there. All of that. Like anti all of that. All of it. And yeah, a more labor-based model would do great. Like labor-based banking. I think that even like the National Socialists in Germany actually did that for a while, and it worked really well. It got them out of this terrible Treaty of Versailles predicament. Right? And then it became this crazy leader-worshipping cult. That then also started to graft in like, oh, we're better than everybody else. You can treat them like lesser humans and whatever. And that's really the problem. Like, what if we, all of us, everyone in the world, just does that revolution and just like not progress beyond it? Like, keep it like that. Like you almost like impose a sort of in-between, what do you call that? An in-between Amish system. Where it's like communist, but actually really right-wing, but not right-wing, conservative. A super conservative communism. That is, right? Conservative communism. What do you guys think? Have you ever imagined hearing those two words together? Conservative communism. What do you think? Let me know in the chat. This is gonna be an interesting title. Yes, he is a Glover gaining wisdom. Please don't go. I just got him to stop being a ball-tard. Please don't get him all ball-tarded again. Opinion like that. Come on, guys, what do you think? Yeah? So if you just say conservative communism, and it's like a-religious, but it can be religious. So conservative communism could be Christian, or it could even be Jewish, or it could theoretically be Islamic, or it could be Buddhist, right? Or it could even be atheist. It could be pretty much anything, right? It's conservative communism, like exactly the opposite of the mind control cultural Marxist communism. I'm gonna So is anybody in the chat going to actually address what I'm saying here? Or are you too busy, like, biting? I gotta, too busy bickering with the chat. Or could you actually respond to what I'm talking about right now on the show? Imagine having Jim Carrey as your communist. Right. Well, isn't that pretty much what he's like pretending to be in like Sonic the Hedgehog? Right? I mean, his role as Eggman is pretty much, yeah, like a communist dictator. Right? And by the way, the idea, right, of a communist dictator is paradoxical. And that's the whole point of it. Like, communism is like, it's just a corrupted version of the original idea. Like, if you study now, like, how communism had developed and was thought out, everyone that was starting that knew how it was going to be a lie. That all the promises that are given are always going to be broken. Right? Well, actual conservative communism should be quite the opposite. That conservative communism is more like a duty of the public to ensure that no satanic corruption gets in again to start faking it, start creating multiple classes, lies, make people believe in lies, make them do atrocious things and then justify it, yeah? To avoid that conservative communism should be specifically against that, to make sure that that doesn't happen. Huttites. Right. So yeah, the Hutterites, I guess you could classify them a little bit as conservative communists. Right? But my point is that it doesn't necessarily have to be like Christian or of any specific religion. It's a way of doing things. And it's like not focused on culture and cultural power, you see? Because Marxist communism is all about mind control and cultural revolutions, where people can be made to dream and lie and then want power for those dreams and lies, like a Satanist. Right? Dream of a better world, and then eventually you realize the world is fucked, and then you just want power. With those people, they just end up wanting power. They sacrifice their soul, they sacrifice their dignity for their Marxist communism, and then they end up just, I want to be a bureaucrat, I want to dictate over people and tell them that they're so inferior because of what they do, and that's what they end up becoming, in complete lies and contrast of their original idealism, which was always a lie, as the architects of Marxist communism have known that it was always a lie. Yeah, conservative communism should be exactly the opposite. It's like lying is like a deadly sin, a sin worth of excommunication, like literally being kicked out, potentially the country. That's right, for lying, for provably lying. It all depends on how strict the rules are going to be, depending on the community. Basic communism. Right, yeah, so Steamy Traveler, that's the idea. Conservative communism is much more the basic communism, but then expanded in the exact opposite direction as Marxist communism, which is all about cultural revolutions and mind control and like debasing Satan, or debasing God and promoting Satan covertly. Because Marxist communism is the most satanic ideology in the world. It's like the most satanic. It is so anti-religion, anti-God, that you cannot classify it anything else. It is pretty much the most straightforward satanic ideology there is. Like way worse than Nazism. Even though Nazism definitely conspires with the devil for power in a way. They do. They do. But communism is just like straight on, like attack God, destroy God, sever connection with God, destroy it, destroy it, destroy it. Like that's prioritized even over petty power or political power. Destroying God is prioritized even over political power in Marxist communism. How insane. But it will be its it will be its destruction eventually because of that. You can't cut off your own roots and expect to survive. Right? Anyway. Yeah. So yeah, conservative communism is not gonna promote gay. It's not gonna promote climate change. Although, arguably, the environment and life will be very respected. But since it's gonna be more I guess that conservative communism, you could say that like Russia is a little bit closer to it. It's not there though. I mean, they are still have like very strong capitalist systems and they have billionaires. But because nationalism has taken priority over just wealth power, it's like the nation has billionaires under their control and not the other way around, which makes it like massively more successful, right? Any nation that actually has control over their oligarchs is going to be successful, in opposition to any nation in which the oligarchs have control, which will always inevitably lead to calamity and disaster. It might take a while, but it does. But when the nation has control over its oligarchs, then, yeah, that creates prosperity and wealth and durability and stability. And Russia has absolutely put all that effort in to do that. Right? It's what got Putin on the most wanted lists of the Marxist communists. He's now the most hated person in media, continually propagandized against. Because of that, because he actually took care of the corrupted oligarchs. He took care of them, like overtly. Like billions and billions of rubles, like really shifted because the nation, like, and now we're done with your revolutions. Can't wait. Giddy giddy. The best ways to control people is to let them be themselves. Really? So what if they think that being themselves is to continually get in everybody's way and sabotage anything? Like, is that it? You think that's the best way to control people? Is to let them be sabotaging, pain-creating bastards because that's what they think is in them? Newcomers? I don't think so. Whoa! Oh, it's hailing again. Look at this. Boom. See, you have that, and there's like a blue sky right there, even as hail is coming down. Wow. So yeah, there you go. Some actual geopolitical ideas from a layman that's not super deeply studied into it, but does really pay attention when people that are deeply studied into this sort of thing speak. Which includes Owen Benjamin, by the way. But also Alex Jones. They're all very interested in history. They read a lot. They have their own ideas about it. And I like to listen to all of it and just see how much it matches. Like, where are the discrepancies? Where are the inconsistencies? And why are they there? Like, what in how they assimilated the information made them like uniform in that way, right? It's like, how are opinions formed? How are things thought of within history? So that even though I haven't really read any of it personally, through others and their insights and the spiritual metadata that comes with it, I can put together a picture that's actually really detailed, even though I've never personally read anything. Except for what I read at school, which is probably mostly propaganda anyway. Is Owen a pro-conservative communist like I am? I don't know what Owen Benjamin is, but I'd say that, yeah. I think that he definitely aspires to be more like the Amish. And if you aspire to be more like the Amish, then you're probably in the line of conservative communism. Yeah. I think that Owen Benjamin would probably think the idea is pretty interesting. And he might even really get oh, whoa, this is good. This is good. This is interesting. Also because, the thing about Satanists, and I've been saying this for a very long time now, since the beginning of even the Flat Earth talk shows, okay? Satanists steal everything that is good. And then through the association, make people hate those good things. And I think that communism is exactly one of them. The original communism was the solution against satanic oligarchy. And then the satanic oligarchy took it, raped it all to hell, turned it inside out, and turned it into one of their skins. And now everybody associates communism with Marxist Satanism, which is really the most influential factor with it. Yeah, communism is really nothing. But if you say Marxist Satanic or Satanic Marxist communism, then everybody really knows exactly, oh yeah, that one. Right? Because that's the thing that we're facing, not communism. Communism is really just like what do you call it? The chassis of a vehicle. But it's like the engine that's put into it, and the plating, and the windows, and all that. That's like the satanic Marxist part. That's really what makes it look the way it does, right? The framework, the frame of it, that's the communism part. But it's really not the most dominant aspect of it. It's just the vehicle, the frame that was hijacked to create this satanic Marxism. And that's how I see it. So, I am typically a guy that likes to rescue satanic symbols from the Satanists and reclaim them for the light. Kitty's really hungry, I think. I'm gonna help him out. So yeah, I rescue the 33. I rescue pentagrams. I like to rescue all these things. Maybe I can rescue communism, their most prominent vehicle, and restore it to its original design and intent before these scumbag Satanists that conspired satanically against all of humanity to dominate and control and kill, to basically restore the original heritage of communism before it got so corrupted a long time ago. Restore the original premise, restart it. When everybody's just thinking everything that came out of it is poison. Well, maybe not everything that comes out of it has to be poison. Maybe we can rescue it by distinctly emphasizing conservative, like non-leftist, non-left-wing, non-liberal communism, yeah? Conservative communism. Think about it. As a model, yeah? Isms, yeah, I get it. You're gonna have an ism one way or the other, Clutch. You can't get around it. But conservative communism might just shine a completely new light on the entire situation and snap a whole bunch of people out of layers and layers of illusion that's been built up for generations. Just so you can see that this is possible. And that there unnamedly are conservative communist communities out there. That's what they kind of are. They're conservative communists. The non-satanic Marxist kind. Because the communism that we know and that we read in the history books and Marx and Karl Marx and all of that, yeah, they're all very satanic. So it's like communism was hijacked by Satanism. They've stolen it. They've stolen the chassis and then built their disgusting Marxist satanic plating and engine, right? But the original chassis was great. Was a good idea before it got hijacked, before it was ever standardized. What if the Great Reset could lead to conservative communism? Worldwide, I mean, there is mass media now. If the idea would spread, would cascade, to really bypass all the fucked up dichotomies, false dichotomies, back and forth, conservative, liberal, if you just like shake them out of it and like, yeah, conservative communism. What are you gonna do? Huh? How are you gonna try to say that that won't work? How is that not gonna work? I think it could really shake things up. So I hope that people are listening to me, some guy on the internet with, 300 and something subscribers. Maybe somebody will catch this idea and give it some consideration. Maybe throw it into some discussion forums. Think about it. I'm specifically hoping on the bear community, Beartaria community. So if anybody listens in that is associated with Owen Benjamin and his community, conservative communism, spread the word, spread the idea. Let's see if this might work. Right? Anyway, I'm gonna like give Kitty some food before it goes insane. What the? Lucy, come. Be right back. And I'm back. Sorry about that. Under communism, will you too? No! No, Steamy Traveler. Because that part is not part of communism. Yeah? That form of equality, equalization of all things, that's Marxist. Yeah, that everything has to be equal. That's nothing. That's total nonsense. Yeah? So, no. Alright, anyway, see you later, Clutch. Good conversation there. Thanks, Richard G. Doing my best. I mean, the show's not over yet. I got at least another half an hour. Maybe longer. No, but what communism, original communism, really was about getting rid of the class system. Remember? That there's no different classes. But in that sense, there shouldn't be any ruling classes either. There's only responsibility. There's no class difference. Something that real communism, like what's been utilized in governments and all that, that's what they fail at so utterly, is that they have very distinctly different classes. They have the ruling class and the inner party, and then they have the rest. So it's just another class system. Conservative communism shouldn't be having that. There wouldn't be any different classes. There would only be responsibility. So it's going to be much tougher with its rulers. There are going to be less rulers, and they're going to be way more responsible and held to account. Salary cap for innovators? That all depends on what it is that they're doing and what they want to achieve with it. Salary cap? I don't see how salary caps really have anything to do with it, except for the finance class, for people that are going to be bankers. Well, I'd say that conservative communism should only ever have a state bank. So yeah, there would be a salary cap for banks, absolutely, because they'd all be state banks. Exclusively. There would be no private banking allowed in conservative communism. And they would basically have a very modest life with that. No piling up riches, no foreign deals, no little clubs, WEF clubs. banking would be an exclusively state-based affair. Hello, fruit. So, you got any more loaded questions, Steamy Traveler, about things that are typically associated with global satanic Marxist communism? Because all the questions you've asked are all directly related to how communism has been deployed in the world. I recognize the questions. It's all related to that, isn't it? Because that's the pure association right now. Communism, that means communist China, communist Russia. That's what it means to everybody. And then all the things that happen there, that's what you associate with communism, isn't it? What if I told you that that's always been satanic communism, always anti-religious communism, and conservative communism is nothing like that. Conservative communism is not anti-religious. Right? Unless the religion does something that violates human rights. It's pretty basic. So they just hijack what it really is. They do everything else. Yeah, Richard G. But the problem is, they hijacked it over 100 years ago. They hijacked it before our grandparents were born. They hijacked it so long ago that nobody here ever saw communism as how it was originally intended, probably. How a lot of people had hoped it would happen, why it had such popular momentum. Because all those people had hoped something good would happen, so all that shit would change. All the oligarchs and their hypocrisy and their class systems would go away. That's why it had all that momentum. Because that's what the people wanted to get rid of. But guess what? Those people that those oligarchs that the people wanted to get rid of were the organizers of this Marxism. And they corrupted it. So they lie to the people. It's just like modern politics, right? All the false promises. We gotta vote for this one. He says the best things. And then they get the power and then they do exactly the opposite of everything they promised. You can thank communism for that. That's how the communist revolution started. Just like that. Lots of false promises. The people do all the dirty work because they're all so sick of it. What has been happening. And then after that, the power is taken by the same people that they try to dispose of. And then it turns out that they've just been disposing of the competition. Without knowing it. And that's what global, satanic, Marxist communism always was. The only way we've known it. Yeah? Real communism, conservative communism, doesn't have oligarchs. It might have a very rich state. It does not have oligarchs. Prosperity would be much more universal. How would I prevent the power grab in my approach? Military power, like every other state. That's the only way. That's this world. Military power, intelligence, mostly counterintelligence. Right? Because a conservative communist state would not dare to like propagandize evil things in the foreign countries to try to like ruin them. Like, oh, just like China, or allegedly, but pretty straightforward, is like, yeah, oh, Americans, oh, you all go pro-gay, you all go climate change, but no here, we don't tolerate gay here. Screw climate change. We in control. Gay and climate change only for American, not for China. Yeah? That shit. Like propaganda to ruin another country for their own security. Yeah, that's something that a conservative communist state would never be caught doing. Never be caught involving in that. Because a conservative communist state has great interest in getting everything stable. Because when it's not stable, that's when oligarchs use people in their distress to destroy their competition. Like always. Yeah? So dictatorship. No. Unless you say anything other than pure anarchy will be a dictatorship. In that case, yeah, dictatorship. If you're just a blank anarchist, well then good luck with that. Prepare all the weaklings to get slaughtered. And then everything to collapse. Because that's what's going to happen with anarchy. But hey, if you want to enforce the way a country works, you're going to have to use force. Because there will be subverters. There will be communist infiltrators from foreign countries that are going to use media and local criminals to try to ruin everything, get public sentiment going in a different direction, and then subvert the state. Because that's what always happens with anything that isn't global, satanic, Marxist, communist. Oh, Cleary. Republic, because democracy is the only tyrant free man will accept. Well, yeah, or conservative communism would technically be a republic. Like the main difference is that there's not blank slate free speech. But I mean, blank slate's free speech doesn't actually exist except in an anarchy. And then it immediately becomes completely swallowed up by criminal elements that are into torture and child porn and all that crap. So true free speech doesn't actually exist. But I mean, a conservative communism would be like a republic. It's just, how are you going to run that republic? Capitalism works? This is right. Hey. A cat is getting in my sock basket. That's hilarious. Yeah, capitalism works. If it only would ever be applied, low fruit. If only, right? Capitalism's such a great idea. Too bad it's never been implemented. Yeah? The only reason why capitalism was even as an idea brought up is to justify why oligarchs and robber barons during the 19th and 18th century got so insanely rich, basically extorting everybody and using slavery and all kinds of criminal means. And this is like, oh, capitalism, yeah? That's what it existed for, to justify the rise of the satanic elite. Yeah? Capitalism was never applied. It never existed. It was only there as an excuse for the ultra-rich that are now literally with their families actively and openly exterminating all people. Yeah? That's what capitalism is. There is none. Yeah, capitalism, real capitalism, doesn't give you a cap. Yeah, what happens in reality? Cat, stop it! Get up! My God, it's gonna create an avalanche. Could you just not sit there? Whatever. Point is capitalism never really existed. Right? Because in reality, when you get too rich, you get cut off. Except for those that don't. The oligarchy, yeah? There is no equal capitalism. It's never existed. It's always been global, satanic, Marxist communism. You've never had capitalism. You were just propagandized into believing you did. And on a local small level, it seemed like it did. You would be left alone for a while. Where are you now there exactly? Oh, you got a revolutionary new idea. Oh, I'm gonna make a big company out of it. I'm gonna get this market. Oh, guess what happens? Oh, no, you're not allowed. And you get shut down for something nonsensical, perhaps, or cut down in the market, and then some of the big oligarchy players come in to rob you of your system, take it over, and then create a new monopoly for the oligarchs. Yeah? You call that capitalist? Or it's just global satanic Marxist communism, in which robber barons like you to believe like you can do something without them just stealing it away from you, without you being able to do anything about it. You still think capitalism works, Low Fruit? Because it only works for the oligarchs that are allowed to have the power. Yeah? Is that really is that capitalism, or is it actually communism pretending to be capitalism? Yeah? Because as far as I know, capitalism doesn't require you to have a specific class or designated permit to be able to have all that. Yeah? That's not capitalism. That's communism. That's global satanic Marxist communism. Yeah? Because global satanic Marxist communism always pretends like it is the opposite of what it actually is. So it's always going to pretend like it's capitalism. But it doesn't actually work like capitalism. Because people that really deserve it, because they had a brilliant idea and worked hard for it, they don't get what they deserve. They get a kick in the ass, a bunch of slander, they get robbed, and then an oligarchs takes their idea and then becomes a billionaire with that, and you will never get recognition. That's how it works now. And has been working for quite a while. It just works more overtly like that. Cats! fucking beast! Get off! Go! Go! It's not your fucking place to sit. Gotta do. No, I don't got a new pet. It's the same cat. It's the neighbor's cat, white cat. I've been having it here for like half a year. Zeptepi, I'm glad you didn't pay attention as usual. I'm not gonna get a cat. Okay, I'm never gonna get a cat as long as I live here. Unless I get so rich that I can buy up the entire apartment, and then I might get a cat. Which is very likely never gonna happen. Hey, Slow Mo Moon Buggy, good to see you. Right. Anyway, 19 watching. Hope everybody shared the show. All the people that haven't shown up yet. Please also support me through the PayPal, by the way. I hope that my subject has been very interesting and I can really use support. If I could get like 20 or 30 bucks, that would be great. Catapolism? What? Catapolism can cause a catastrophe? Okie dokie. Right. Yeah, I mean, capitalism is a disaster. There's antitrust laws, right? There's laws to limit it, and they're not applied. They're literally not applied. Also, yeah, the United States government, the people in there, literally steal money from the government. They are grifters that literally grift money out of the government as a pure theft. And it's like legal. It's the most insane thing I've ever seen. Like, there's third world countries that have gone through revolutions because of behavior that the United States government, people in there, have been doing for a century. It is thoroughly corrupt. I haven't seen Witsit around since that weekend video. Oh, okay. I don't know what's going on with Witsit. I have no idea. Right. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Don't know if I'm gonna do like a 3-hour show. I'm just not. I don't really have the room. I mean, if I could just talk about whatever I wanted to without the direct threat of getting strikes, then yeah, I could probably talk 4 or 5 hours straight. But there is no free speech in a global satanic Marxist communist society. You don't get free speech. You get to be mistreated by those who are designated to be allowed to mistreat you. That's what happens in global satanic Marxist communism, where injustice is not only tolerated, it's like mandated. Yeah? Because that's what Satan likes. Lies and injustice. So that's what you get with global satanic Marxist communism, which is the religion, the ideology of the West. And not just the West. A lot of leadership in a lot of countries. Because, yeah, that's what the West did. They infiltrated it. They infiltrated everything. Satan doesn't exist now. The fuck does that have to do with anything, Zeptepi? Idiot. Satanic fundamentally means opposer, and in an esoteric sense it literally means lie. Yeah? God, truth. Satan, lies. Literally. Like everything that is lies is literally Satan. And so if something is satanic, then it rests and is dependent on lies, provable lies. That's what makes it satanic. When something exclusively is dependent on provable lies, that's how you know it's satanic. Doesn't have to mean they believe in Satan or have a religion around some figure they call Satan or even have to do anything with the Bible. It just means that it is directly dependent on lies, on deceit. That's satanic. That's how I use the word in an esoteric sense. That's what Satan likes. Yeah. Because I said, oh, poor Zeptepi. Well, too fucking bad. I'm gonna say that, yeah? I'm gonna turn him into a creature. Into a symbolic creature. Because I use Christian lingo. Yeah? For my symbology. And for my metaphors. I use that. If you can't handle it, then get the fuck out. Yeah? I don't care what you fucking believe in or not. Yeah? I use Satan in my descriptions. Satan can be personified, but it is just a spirit. It is a collective spirit. It is an influence on the other side, on all people. And it is predominantly on the frequencies associated with lies and deceit towards others and towards the self. That's where it all starts. That's how Satanism takes hold, through lies and deceit. For any reason, including your own survival. No, low fruit, that's not satanic. That's just called inconvenient. Yeah, but you could say that satanic is also failure. Yeah, because Satan is not just lies and deceit, it's also failure. Those who worship Satan as a personified some kind of deity they end up in failure. They attain failure in their life. Their social life fails. Right? And a lot of time, even their finances fail. So Satanism is associated also with failure. Right? Satanists impose their beliefs on others to make them fail. If as a Satanist you can spread your religion, you win by creating failures and thereby decreasing the power of God's side, of those that refuse to do that and that have their energy and their naturalism available to them, their natural spirits. Yeah? Because Satan is the opposer to life and all that is good. Life, truth, and all that is good. Satan opposes that. The spirit of Satan is a destroyer, an envious one. Okay, gaining wisdom? Sure. No, and by the way, Aries 106, no, not God is true, God is truth. TH. God is true. This is a ridiculous statement. It is truth. Not Satan is false, Satan is lies, yeah? Talking metaphysically. God is truth. The truth is God. The frequency of it. The direction. That which has to be. To really get power. To get real power, durable power. To not fail, you have to speak the truth. You have to side with God. Because if you don't, if you lie, if you side with Satan, then you will inevitably move towards destruction and failure. Because that's what happens. Satan takes away. God provides. What the hell does that even mean? Oh, doesn't provide for me. It has provided for me. What the fuck are you talking about, Septapi? What, you think that the thing God, the truth, will just make prosperity fall out of the sky? What kind of a nonsense straw man idea is that? Yeah? Provide does not mean you get earthly trinkets. You get cash. Yeah? That's not God provides. Yeah, God provides energy, insight, power over the self. A challenge, as a stimulating challenge that is hard, worth it, and the value that comes out of it literally cannot be measured. because it makes you transform in ways that cannot be measured. It can only be witnessed. Yeah? You become more. How can you measure that? How can you measure the value of a transformation? You can't. It just happens. And it happens thanks to God and thanks to following God's rules and laws, as you literally have to figure them out, because nothing that is presented is true per default. Everything is tainted by Satan. It's all in there. It's all humans trying to meddle with you and like change it a little how you should think and all that. You need to figure out what God's laws really are. What they really are. And then when you find out, you probably can't even talk about it. You can't express it. You just have to shut the hell up and follow him and hold on to it and then figure it out further, because talking about it will actually ruin everything. Because how things work spiritually changes. Like the dynamic of the balance of what's happening changes. Logic doesn't change, but the result changes depending on the spiritual dynamic of what's going on. What's right and wrong for you? What are you talking about? Yeah. I never said that you're not gonna make errors. Errors are human, and not even that. Errors are like critical for development. Without errors, you don't develop. If you don't make mistakes, then you don't learn. If you don't make mistakes, you can be perfect at something, yet never transcend that perfection, that apparent a perfection that's only perfect within its confine. You will never have it transform beyond without making mistakes, because mistakes change things. It changes the dynamic around you, and it changes you. Gives you a direct personal challenge to figure out the mistake and overcome it, and thereby changing you, while the world has already changed through the mistake, because that happens one way or the other. Right? Once you make a mistake, you can't unmake the mistake. You can only overcome it or abandon it and ignore it. You can't make it so that the mistake hasn't happened. It never works like that. So, yeah, I don't beat myself up over any mistake. I face it, and I'm like gleeful. Like, I am happy about my mistakes. It makes me enthusiastic when I notice that I've made a mistake. Why? Because it's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity for learning. It's a crisis. I have to exploit the crisis. Yeah? I mean, Henry Kissinger isn't wrong, you know? Yeah, he's a deranged globalist Satanist, but he isn't wrong. He says a lot of things that are very right, you know. He recently said something that was also very right. He says a lot of things that will surprise you in how correct it is. People just think, oh, it's just evil, it's just this, just... Well, you should actually listen to what he says sometimes. You'd be surprised. I mean, he does evil things, but a lot of things that he says are actually completely correct. As happened recently. Right? Mistakes, errors are an opportunity for growth that without the mistakes and errors would not be there. And you would, even though perfected within that level, not move beyond that level if you're not going to make a mistake. When you're perfect at something, you don't evolve it. You don't grow it. You just stay on that level that always functions. And then you forget about it. And then you develop other things and not it, because it becomes automated. There's nothing to change about it. There never is a mistake, so you never have to give it your conscious attention and thereby never develop it, only automate it further. And then later, it might suddenly not work anymore, and now you're stuck with an automated reflex system that you've always leaned upon, yielded results, suddenly not yielding result anymore. Now you have to uncondition yourself to actually start learning it from scratch. Because suddenly that perfection, which was always perfection, suddenly is not perfection anymore. It's very aggravating when something you've just leaned on, always working your entire life, suddenly doesn't work anymore. It's brutally frustrated. Trust me, I know a lot about that sort of thing. Things that I just counted on would just like, yeah, of course, it's always going to be like that. Yeah, no, it isn't. Don't count on anything. Everything changes over time. Everything. And things that might have been brilliant and undefeatable will suddenly, through a different perspective, everything changes, and that which was perfect and invulnerable can just be thrown aside and forgotten without anything you can do about it. Even though it was perfect, it's just not relevant anymore. Because there's such a thing as contemporary relevance, which is a very deceitful and often overlooked influence in how valuable information gets lost. It's because contemporarily it wasn't relevant. And then you just forget about it, right? And now I got a good title for tomorrow's show. The truth will make you suffer doesn't sound right. Yeah, well, too bad. It's real, though. Yeah? And here you go. Suffering is the source of greatest gain. But if you're just a dumb animal, you would never be able to understand that. While a truly Christian person, or other religions too, they know that. They learn that. They learn that the only real key for spiritual evolution is suffering. Right? Without suffering, there's no necessity to grow naturally, spiritually. Without suffering, there is stagnation. With stagnation, there is no prosperity. And there comes the grabbler with their controlled opposition and like, oh, well, that means that we're going to create a hassle, we're going to create friction to keep it all going. So they use Satan. Satan for little stimulants, little stimulation. Get everybody excited again. And keep things rolling. But eventually, people get used to Satan, and then you have to make it more egregious. And eventually, you're going to have to do really, really nasty shit to get anything rolling, because everybody got used to it. It got normalized, and eventually you could just like have jump scare terror. Like pure jump scares everywhere at every corner, and like, oh, sudden pictures of baby torture or whatever in front of your face. And eventually people will literally not see it anymore. They will not respond anymore. And after that point, you have a dead halt. A total dead halt of development. Because nothing gets to you anymore. And when nothing gets to you anymore, that's when you have a dead halt. Usually when nothing gets to you, that's when you're depressed. Real depression is when nothing gets to you anymore. Like, it doesn't make you feel anything. Right? So you have to remain vulnerable to a degree if you want to keep growing. But you don't want to be played around with. You don't want to be tortured by somebody abusing their power over you. So how do you balance that out? Right? How do you remain vulnerable yet not somebody's slave to toy with? It's a very, very difficult balance to keep, and I literally cannot give you instructions on how to do it. You just have to feel it out. What if you suffer, it still don't grow? You can't make that claim. Nobody suffers and doesn't. But really, the actual growth only becomes apparent and more clear after you've resolved it. Yeah? After the suffering. After you embraced and overcame the challenge that came with it. Which can be like PTSD or whatever, yeah? It's all a challenge and it can all be overcome. It's just, it can be so difficult that it defies description. But it doesn't mean that's impossible. Stagnant and suffering at the same time. Well, if you're stagnant and suffering, then that means you're decreasing, then that usually means you're gonna die. Or you're gonna off yourself. Right? The point is, the growth only happens when you overcome the suffering. When you fix the issue. When you've taken the challenge, gone through the hard times, and worked it, or died trying. Yeah? If you can't, if you're just stuck in a cage getting tortured and there's nothing you can do about it, well, then you can't grow. You can only suffer. And then maybe one day, if you get out, well, then you can go on the long work having your spirit get out of that cage and overcome the PTSD and the torture. But while you're in there, with no outlook of ever getting out, there's nothing you can grow with. There's no challenge that you can psychologically take, because it's just suffering without any purpose. Yeah, the reward comes after you've taken the challenge and have actually fixed it. If you're not capable of fixing it, or you fail, or you reject it, you claim you can't fix it, then you don't get the reward. Then you just fail. And failure is Satan. Then any person that has indomitable will in the face of any challenge cannot fail. They cannot end in failure. The only way you can end in failure is if you give up. Those who do not give up cannot fail. They can simply be obstructed on their path to victory. But those who do not give up cannot fail. Yeah, fibro. Yeah, Zeptappy is just trying to project his shit off him. We don't care. You shouldn't care. We don't care about what Zeptappy believes. It's his own damn problem, and he's just like sharing it like it's supposed to mean anything. It's your problem, Zeptappy, not our problem. You not seeing it, you not understanding it, you not agreeing is your problem and not our problem. Right. I'm gonna take a 2-minute break. Be right back. Nee. Die kant op. And I'm back. We're like an anomaly made of vanilla. What? You don't have any truth, so you don't suffer? Oh, you don't understand at all. Zeptappy, you're such a dumbass, man. After everything I explained, you literally got everything wrong. You just don't understand, then. Like, you didn't get anything I just told you. I'm pretty sure that most people here in the chat actually understood what I was talking about. You blatantly seem not to. Dude, nobody suffers more than those who don't have the truth. 'Cause the glee and joy of illusion doesn't last, you see? It runs out. The reward of actual truth never runs out. It always remains. There will be more challenges, but it always remains. It's durable because it's true. Yeah? It's not the same for lies. If you're not truthful, you might impose a delusion on yourself that will, like a belief or a conviction that will like be really euphoric. You'll think all that. You'll think yourself very great, very smart. But then eventually runs out because something's going to be out there that's going to break the lie. And then you'll feel the pain. Then suddenly that little comforting lie is suddenly taken away from you. And it's very painful. Yeah? Nobody suffers more than people that are not being truthful with themselves and others. Nobody suffers more than that. Yeah? The point is, you just don't get the reward because you hold on to the lie. You don't get a reward from God if you hold on to the lie. You only get the suffering. Yeah? Satan may give you a little enjoyment at first, but it runs out, and then you're just left with the suffering that you will remain. You will keep having that until you recognize the truth about it. And then you might gain the ability to overcome the lie, embrace the truth, and get the reward. Until then, you will suffer. And hey, if you hold on to the suffering and don't fix it, don't hold on to the lie, don't fix it, well then you're going to need some more lies to basically deceive yourself into thinking that it's not a lie. And then you're completely cut off from reality entirely through your own psychic imposition. Where's the reward for knowing the earth is flat? Well, there definitely is a reward. Provably. Knowing all the bullshit that is associated with the globe model, all the things they say are disastrous, that could happen any moment, it's all horse shit, yeah? There is no extinction event through a meteor. There's no extinction event from the sun blowing up or going out. All the science fiction horse shit of all the disaster movies out there, it's all fake. That's the reward. That's the short-term reward, knowing that all that horse shit can never happen. That's a tangible, short-term reward. Yeah? And there's more rewards. Other rewards being like, wow, I live in a very magical realm. That's truly magical and was designed and created just so that I could experience this. And then a whole bunch of other people too. That's all very magical and rewarding. They're all great rewards. Yeah? Another great reward when you're already like at that point is, wow, I don't have to be a disgusting fool and perpetual liar anymore like those other people that keep holding on to these lies. You don't have to be like that anymore. You can be liberated from that. Something that you can't even see as a possibility as long as you hold on to the lie. You see? You don't get to see that there is a reward. You don't even get to know it exists as long as you hold on to the lie. You don't get to know it exists. You just get to suffer falsely for your false conviction in the hope that you're right when you're not. And you'll never get that reward. You only get the suffering because you're wrong and you're unwilling to admit to yourself that you're wrong, or you're too damn stupid and stubborn to realize that you're wrong. And so you will only suffer then, and there will be no reward. There's only a reward in suffering when you end up right. And you can only end up right when you figure out the truth and not hold on to a lie. Suge Knight? What the hell are you talking about? What the hell's a Suge Knight, Richard G? Guys. Suge. I still don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean, dude. Fiber Outs. What the fuck is a Suge Knight? Yeah, so what is it? Rap? So it's just a stupid, malformed mutation of a word. It's a person. Okay. Whatever. Right. Yeah, please donate to my PayPal, guys. I really would like some support. I thought today was a pretty good show, right? It's not over yet, just yet. I thought it went great. But I still really would like a PayPal donation. Because I'm gonna need it, you see, after the weekend to get proper dinner again. Because right now I only got just a bunch of French fries. With new olive oil, thank God, I really needed that. But I mean, still, it doesn't really, on the long run, fill you up. And it ends, yeah, it makes me end up like really hungry when I wake up. And that's why I ate my Illuminati croissant even before the show started. The only way to prevent that sort of thing is like get real proper dinner. But that costs. Although it doesn't even cost that much. I can get pretty efficient meals. But still, it costs. So any support would be great. I don't even need that much. Much would be great too, but I mean, I'm not gonna assume that you all suddenly got loaded. Right. But yeah, Low Fruit, if you missed the first 80 minutes, you really missed something. I definitely recommend you watch it back, because today was a great show, overall. I really liked the concept of conservative communism, figuring it out, right? Like, how can I talk about world events without being specific and still addressing the main issue of all of it? And that's what I attempted today, and I thought it was pretty successful. Right? And then, of course, more regular talk about truth and lies, God and Satan, how that works. That's part of the esoteric Christianity. My esoteric Christianity. In my eclectic development. Nobody wants to talk about stem cell therapy? I wonder why that is. Could it be because stem cell therapy comes from babies? Could that be it? I mean, it sure as hell works, you know? It's just that you wanna recycle babies to get it? Because that's what it's gonna be. Right? You could definitely say that stem cell therapy is another form of vampirism. Right? They can take stem cell from your spine. Not the same for them. Well, I don't know if you could. Can you do that? I mean, that could seriously compromise. If you're gonna just like harvest stem cells from your own body, you think that's not gonna have some negative effect? Yeah. But I mean, I think that the best way to basically, if you're gonna do any kind of stem cell direction research, is to like do it with, with animals, right? Animal fetuses. I mean, you could probably do something like that without making it vampiric. But I mean, it's still basically like harvesting life to enhance your own. Now you could even say that eating meat is that, but just goes a little further than that. It's not even just food. You're like sacrificing a creature to like extract something very specific from it in a laboratory. That's why you're killing it now. Mostly killing it. Although you can actually harvest stem cells from living creature, but I mean, it's all complicated, difficult. And there will be there's oh, if you legalize stem cell stuff and all that research and therapy, it's like, yeah, finally, oh, we can fix this and that. And then before you know it, you can get the cheap version imported from a country that literally slaughters its own citizens to provide you with that product because it's just so profitable. Yeah? That always ends up happening. Every freaking time. People still eat meat. That's hilarious. Fiber oats. Not okay with it at all. Unshifting position. I mean, look. You're never going to overcome this thing with stem cell research because it is a big solution. I mean, you can use stem cell research to literally regrow an organ or a limb or whatever. You can't replace that. And you can't technically do it without killing other life. It's just way more expensive than not just cheaply squeeze a baby in a fruit juicer or something, right? Like in the South Park episode was it Christopher Reeves that went, yeah, they did that episode exactly like that, where he just sucks fetuses like drinks to get superpowers. That's the cheap version, you see? And it will always go to that eventually. Eating meat isn't saying I'm not good enough. Yeah, of course. Shift your assemblage point? What does that mean, fiber oats? What does that mean, what you're saying? Assemblage point? What is assemblage point? Where did you get that? I don't know what you're talking. I've never heard that. I should probably ask my healer, like, what does he think about it? I've never heard of anything like that. Him. Yeah. The hell is that on there? Some kid just fell off a bike or something. You ever experience something not so good and feel like you're in a dream? I have that all the time. Assemblage point shifted temporarily? I still don't understand how that's supposed to mean anything. But yeah, I've had hallucinations. Because something really terrible happened and I wasn't confronting it. I was like letting it slip through me. And then it's, yeah, your spirit gets all messed up from that. Stem cell therapy, permanent. Prove that. Prove it. What are you talking about? How can it permanently shift anything like a trauma? How? How is that even possible? I don't think so. I mean, maybe if it's like a cursed thing, like a baby or whatever that's just been like killed or stolen or whatever just to do that, and then it's cursed maybe. But I don't see how stem cell therapy would universally do something like that. Like, there's nothing inherently traumatic about it. I mean, it's like, by that standard, you'd get the same result from a blood transfusion, which, by the way, is something that apparently the Jehovah's Witnesses are like really against, to the point that like they'd rather allow you to just die than to have a blood transfusion. Pretty bizarre. But is that what you're? If that's what you're saying, then it makes sense, at least, like where you're getting the idea from. Works great for arthritis? Interesting. Same thing. I don't see it. I really don't see it. Like, prove it to me. Based on what? What are you basing it on? On fat tissue? Really? You can get stem cells from fat tissue? That's really interesting. Huh. fascinating. That sounds really great. I mean, I do not see how cultivating your own stem cells, like from your own body, and then reintroducing them into your body, how that could do anything wrong at all. I don't see it. Unless it's like accompanied with like very unnatural chemicals or something, right? But otherwise, I don't see how that could ever be negative. I mean, yeah, if you like harvest a baby for something like that, I could imagine you'd be cursed or something, a spiritual level. But if it's literally your own cells, then how the hell could that do anything negative? I don't get it. I mean, it's like the idea like you're gonna give blood for blood transfusion, right? You're like, you have a really high protein diet and you're like making a lot of blood, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna donate some of that. And then you get in an accident. And then you need a blood transfusion and you're gonna get your own blood. Because you had just happened to have given that, and it's like, yeah, we still got your blood, so let's use that. It's perfect, right? So is getting a blood transfusion from your own blood gonna give you that thing that you're talked about? What is it? A spiritual assemblage point shift. Is it? When you get a blood transfusion with your own blood, is that gonna give you an assemblage point shift? That's my question to you. Because I don't think so. Commonly used therapy right now? Awesome. Oh, really? You could hardly walk? That's amazing. That's really amazing. Good, glad to hear. I mean, I don't really think I need it, but like, for example, I've got issues with my jaw. Maybe it could like help completely regenerate it. For example, just an idea. But I'm not like acutely in need of something because like I don't have chronic pain or anything. But it's a fascinating idea. I will keep that in mind. Right, so yeah, I do not see how you could have any kind of weird spiritual rejection or shock from using cells of your own body cultivated and reintroducing them. I literally cannot see how that could cause anything negative. I mean, it's literally your own genetics. That's like, that stuff that you're going to inject is body inherent. It's like in your body. It was in your body and then it gets back in your body. What's the problem? There isn't any. There couldn't be a problem. It's just like the idea of like having an allergic reaction because of something in your body that's on the loose, when it's like been a part of your body and it will be a part of it. It's like you can't have a rejection reaction of something that's always been in your body and was grown there by your body. So worth a Google search to learn more about it? Yeah, maybe. If you got issues with something. I mean, man, for my mother it would have been great to like restore a nerve from her arm because of an accident she had. But I mean, yeah, she's not here anymore now, but that would have been great back then. Right. Danny Torrance, what? Oh, right. Oh wow, it's really clearing up. Look at this. Looks like some of those big clouds went away. Yeah, weather's pretty great. Oh, I'm sure it's going to be pretty cold later though. Right. So I'm going to round out now. I really hope that I'll get some PayPals over the weekend. Hasn't happened yet. But I would really appreciate just a little support, like 20 bucks, maybe 30. That would be fantastic, because then I could get proper dinner again for after the weekend. Right. So thanks everyone for coming. I hope you liked this show. If you did, then please don't forget to Rogans it up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you know when I'm going live, which is normally 1 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekdays and 2 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekend. And please also do support me through the PayPal and the Patreon. That would be much appreciated, and I can always use the support. So yeah, please send me a PayPal over the weekend. That would be great. Right, I'll be back tomorrow with Flat Earth Early Bird number 1750 on a Sunday. And I'm gonna join the Ballbusters later this evening. Should start about in 4 hours from now. Hope to see you there in the chat. It should be fun. Doing Ballbusters is always a blast. Hope to see you there. And until the next video, keep it flat.